Hi, Mudit. Hi, Raj. Am I audible, visible? Hi, good evening. Good evening, all of you. I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys doing? As in one phase for you, and some people are already preparing for CAT 26. Others are struggling with GDPI and lots of stuff going on. I'm good. Thank you very much. Okay, so Nikhil is asking a question. Nikhil is saying, I've got 83% in 10th, 71 in 12th, and 62 in BA Political Science from IGNOU. Is it possible to crack top IIMs with this background? Nikhil, it would be difficult. I would not mince words here. It will be difficult. If you talk about top IIMs, I'm assuming that you're talking about IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, etc., etc. So yes, it will be difficult. Over the years, we have seen people with very, very good CAT percentiles not getting shortlisted, at least by A and B. So I'll not put all of them in one category. They would be like A and B behave a little differently. C would be a little different that way. So it's a little more lenient on academics at times, right? And then the next three. So A and B, Ahmedabad and Bengaluru, and they're very problematic. So I have seen people, a great cat score is 99.7, 91.8 types, but a great academic record not getting calls from A and B. So A and B, you might struggle to get a call. From others, if you get a very good cat percentage, you may get a call, but converting it would be a Herculean task. It's going to be difficult. But I'm not discouraging in any way. Try your best because when you appear for cat, you in any case you want to get the best possible. So here is the same thing. Try, but yes, if it's only the top IIMs, I mean, I would say that if there is somebody who says, I'll go only to the top IIMs, with this kind of a record, I'll have my reservations. Wellinger is a decent college. I mean, when you ask me about colleges, they should be compared to something. If you ask me to compare Wellinger with, let's say, the top B schools, no, it does not fall in the top B. Otherwise, it's a decent college. Uh, it's Mumbai, it's got a locational advantage as well. It's a decent one. If you tell me what are the choices I have, then I can suggest. Also, at this point, I have got another piece of advice which applies to all of you. It is that convert the college first and then talk about it what you fill the form. So either it should be about whether I should go for these forms or not, or it should be about if you have filled the form, don't talk about I'll join here, I'll join there. If this happens, what will I do? If you have filled the form for Wellinger, for example, you should just think about converting the call. So I give this advice to everyone because if you start thinking like it's not good enough, I'll probably go there and go here like that, you will not do your best at the time of the interview. That's the reason I keep saying to everyone, appear for the interview, convert the call, and then finally there will be a day that you would say, I've got X call, convert Y, Z, P, Q. These are the five converts. Help me decide. And there comes a convert. Good evening, Nisha. Okay, Michael said, I'm working full time and starting at 26 prep from February. At what point does switching to full time prep add real value compared to continuing? Michael, you need to clarify this. What is the meaning of full time prep? What are you talking about? You're saying that You would want to leave a job and just devote yourself completely to cat. Is that the meaning of full time? What exactly you're saying? Okay, let me just see what I can do about that sound. Is it better now? Can anybody confirm? Somebody said that you're getting some kind of echo here. So, Michael, if you mean you want to leave your job at some point to prepare for CAT, I would not advise that. So, unless your job is something like it consumes your whole day, even your weekends and all, if you are planning to start at this point, wherein like 10 months are left for CAT, I would not advise you to leave your job completely. Why would you want to do that? Because if you say, I would leave my job after July, even at the time of interview they might ask you this question. So I'm not saying that you cannot explain that. You obviously can explain that, but if you're doing well, this is going good, it pays you well, and you're like okay with the job, if you're not, even if you're not very happy, continue with this. When you've got 10 months, you like give it 3-4 hours daily and slog on the weekends, 10 hours, 12 hours on the weekends. That should be enough. Why would you want to think about leaving the job at some stage? Continue with it. So many people do like that, so you can also do that. That's my advice for you, Michael. Akash, that's wise. So Akash says that he's got from call from IIM Jammu, and that's not for their flagship program, but for the other course, hospital management. So you want to go for it. Look, I keep getting these kind of questions. So what I advise is that if the college is somewhere there in your radar, not fully like you're 50-50 kind of thinking about it, go for it, give it your best, get a final admit, and then decide. The reason is that at times, no, we are sitting in February. At times in April, you'll feel like, no, I cannot prepare for CAT again. It's done. I cannot motivate myself for another 8 months. It'll be very frustrating. Then you need to have options. So what I'm saying is that if the colleges from which you can get calls, if the colleges to which you have applied or planning to apply, or the colleges with which a call is likely, do not fall anywhere in your radar. You would say, no. Whatever calls I'm going to get, I'm not happy with them. Whatever I've got, whatever I'm going to get, I would say start preparing for CAT 26. But if you think there are 50-50 kind of cases, and there'll be cases like that. So if there are 50-50 kind of cases, I would suggest leave CAT 26 for a month or two. Fine. Think about converting those calls, get final admit. So if you're saying there are 8 such calls, if you get 3 final admits, for example, in the month of March or April, whatever the final results are there with you, then decide if that makes sense. If you still would say after getting the final admits that no, I'm not going there, these final admits have given me all the more confidence to believe that I can get into better B schools next time, then go for it. Right? You got the point. And it would be a wonderful feeling to prepare or start preparing for CAT again when you've got a few final admits from B schools which are not bad, which are like okay kind of B schools in your categorization. You got the point. So don't at this point be in that 50-50 thing. If you decide that you're going to appear for some GDPI thing, go there with 100% confidence, with the feeling that I need to convert this, I need to get into this B school. Decide later about whether you want to go there or not. Does that make sense? I'll answer everything. Don't worry, guys. I'll answer absolutely everything. guys, whoever is asking questions about, can I get a call from this, can I get a call from that, it's a very, very difficult thing to comment upon. I mean, do not base any decisions on the basis of what the data previously was, because had it been an objective criteria, what is the meaning of objective criteria? So for example, please listen to me, you'll understand the mechanism. If a college says, if you get 90 percentile in the three sections, fine, and you get a 97 percentile overall, and you have got an 80% overall in an academic record, then I'll give you a call. Then it is very easy to deduce whether you're going to get a call. Otherwise, it's very difficult to figure out in advance if you're going to get a call or not. Fine, keep some margin, think about uh, whether in the past years they have given a call on such profile, and then apply, because nobody can know in advance. I know why you ask these questions. You ask these questions because at times it feels like a waste of money when you apply to some college and you do not get a call, do not get a chance to appear for the interview or the GD. So this happens. But don't be, don't bank fully on the data of the past years. And you should be optimistic about the colleges. It's not like you've got a 97 percentile and you're applying absolutely everywhere. No, don't do that. So be realistic, but keep some margin, 10-20% above, 10-20% below, and then fill the colleges and give yourself adequate chance if you think that you would really want to get into a B school this year. So there are different people. So there are some people who would say, no, I can try for next year as well. I'll not make any compromises. So that is fine. But if you're somebody who wants to get into a B school, don't take any chances, fill 3-4 extra forms, it's okay. As far as the cost part is concerned, because I know that's a valid concern. I mean, these are costlier forms and it happens. When you get into a B school, you'll be spending a lot of money, isn't it? You'll be actually spending a lot of money. So when you spend these couple of ₹1,000 on forms, think about this cost as a part of that expenditure. You get the point. What I'm saying is, you get into a B school, let's say you spend 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, whatever. These couple of ₹1,000 on 4 or 5 extra forms would be like 10,000, 15,000. At this stage, you'll feel bad. But that's a part of the larger scheme of things. And you would immediately start feeling better about it. Okay, so I'll give a generic answer to this, Akash. Whenever there is a specific course in any B school, the interview is not very different. Just the only difference would be, so for example, I'll give you the most basic example. Let's say you're appearing for an HR course interview. So the only thing that you need to prepare additionally would be, what is your interest in HR, right? So you can extend this logic to any possible course, any possible stream. What is your specific interest in this particular stream? So you want to do an MBA in HRM. Why do you want to do that? So when you prepare your why MBA, think about why HRM as well. And this extends to all the B schools with all their courses. Make sense, Akash? What is the minimum number of hours that a working professional should give on working days? I would say 3 to 4 hours if time permits, because people have different schedules. And then you need to slog on the weekends. Weekends should be like nothing but work, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever you can manage reasonably, do that. Yes, Ankita is saying, I had registered at Rodha for CAT 25, but due to health constraints, I could not prepare, so my LRDI practice was lagging. So this year, taking LRDI sectionals and mocks, would it be sufficient to prepare? No. So yes, it'll help your cause. But one piece of advice, caution for you, don't think that the other sections can be taken for granted, right? So it's very easy for you to think like, LRDI was my nemesis last time, and this time I'm going to fix that. But we have seen that in the past, that many students would struggle with one of those sections which were fixed earlier. And so until unless it's like you knew from before that LRDI is going to be a problem, and then LRDI proved to be a problem, then that's a different thing completely, because it has been a problem. But don't ignore Quant, don't ignore verbal, because at the end of it, it's not like an LRDI test for you in 26. It's again a test of 3 hours, all 3 sections. So yes, to start with, at this stage when the exam is 10 months away, start with LRDI, because that makes a lot of sense for you, because you struggled there last time. And after you think you've covered some ground, in a couple of months you think you're in a better position, then again come to full length mock tests and look at the preparation holistically in totality, not just LRDI. Another reason I'm saying so is because let's for a moment assume that LRDI is not your strength, right? LRDI is your weak section that way. So you fix that, you achieve a level which is okay, but then after that you need to score somewhere. So I'm assuming that after fixing LRDI would still not be the area where you would score heavily, right? So where would you score heavily? You need to clear the cutoffs, right? This is one. And you need to score heavily somewhere. So where would that be? Either quant or verbal. So that's the reason that you need to put almost equal attention or give almost equal attention to all the sections, but take special care of LRDI. I'll put it like this. Kriyanshu says 79, 71, 52 BA, OBC. Do I have to prepare for CAT or not? This is very open ended. What you're saying is, where do you want to go? I would have asked you, what is your objective? So if you're asking at this percentage in OBC, can you get a call from top B schools? I would say maybe. But if you're, if what you think when you think of MBA, you're not thinking of only top B schools, but tier 2, tier 3 colleges as well, then by all means, you should go ahead, prepare. There's every chance you'll get a call. It depends on a CAT percentile. Do well in CAT and you can get calls. Okay, Satvik is saying I have 9.7 and my currently maintaining 9 in my BA. Going to give CAT 26. What are my chances for good HRB schools? Every chance, Satvik. I don't see a red flag here. Try and get the best possible CAT percentile for yourself, and absolutely not a problem. So if you're doing BA, fine. Academic diversity would also see you through, because they get so many engineers over there that if you've got something like that, you're doing it in humanities and all, then it should be okay. So I don't see a problem over there. What is required now? A very good CAT percentile. So work towards it. You'll be good. Okay, so this is one question that so many people ask. I resigned from my job of 12 hours per day and 6 days per week, and I understand that must have been very tough to prepare along with for full-time CAT preparation. So I have 95%, 92%, and 79% civil engineering, 3.5 years of core experience. So I want to know how I cover this gap year. This is manageable. Trust me, this is manageable. I would not want you to think about it this stage. I mean, if the interview is there, there, you have to prepare this answer and you're talking about this CAT, and it's different. If you're thinking about whether I should appear for CAT or not after this, then it's different. You and this applies to everyone. You have to just think about the value that you add in that gap, right? So it's tricky when you have worked for 3-4 years and then you leave your job, right? It's different from a fresher preparing for CAT. You graduate in June and you take CAT in November, so that's different. That's okay. But when you have worked for 3-4 years and then you do this, then you have to properly explain that. But the important thing is that don't think, and this is really important for you, everyone of you to understand, don't think that just a gap year, merely the presence of a gap year disqualifies you. Think about that. Had it been like that, they would not have called you for the interview. Have they called you for the interview to embarrass you? Just think about that. No. And to reject you, to call you there and then reject you. No. They want to understand if this was a carefully thought through, meticulous decision, or you just acted on your whim. Please try and understand, what are you going to become? A manager, a leader going forward, right? So their decision making has to be spot on. They have to think through whatever they do, be it business decisions or decisions in their personal life, right? Now, if this decision of leaving a job after 3.5 years was not something that you actually thought about and calculated, right, then that's a red flag, right? So that is the reason that they would ask you to explain the line of your reasoning. Now, in that, I mean, I'll go ahead in this and explain what people do wrong here. You would say, sir, my reason was that I had a bad boss, or a bad job, or a low paying job, or it was very hectic, or the work culture was toxic. Let's for a moment assume that this was the reason. Fine, you would not say that. Now what I'm trying to tell you is not that you lie. No, I'm not saying that. There are things which are generic in nature. There are things which are very obvious. Fine. So obviously you're not happy. You need some kind of growth or something like that, and that's why you think of an MBA. So what I would ask you to do is, don't talk about your work culture, your boss, or start bad mouthing your company. Right? You get the point. What would you talk about, or what should you talk about? You should talk about learning. I'm not saying that you start praising the company. Oh, such a fabulous boss, I'm still leaving it. No, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, talk about things, say something that looks palatable. पचा पाए वो, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that it looks like यार ये कैसा बंदा है, मतलब he worked there for 2 years and is bad mouthing it, कल ये हमारे B school के बारे में बोलेगा, right? So this is something that should not do. Think about what a B school would add to you. Think about gaps in your learning. So for example, you are in an execution role right now in your, after your job, after engineering, right? So in this job there'll be things they'll do, there'll be things that you're not allowed to do because you're not thought good enough to be in a position like that. तो ये जो gap है, this is a learning gap. No, there are things that you need to learn. When you learn those things at a B school, then you will probably get into a role that allows you to do things that you would like doing. So can you not structure this answer according to the gaps in learning and not make it about a bad boss or a bad company or a toxic work culture? You get the point. So you're not lying, you're telling them what they want to hear. They want to hear from you, why do you want to come here and spend 2 years and spend 25 lakhs? So you need to have solid cogent reasoning behind it. This is what they want to hear, so tell them what they want to hear. And do not pick answers from anywhere. Oh, this was a good answer, it survived, I'll say this. No, think about what makes sense, and it should be specific. One line that I would say, one word that I'll say, uh, everybody needs to avoid is this. When you talk about interviews, this won't work. Generic answers, which applies everywhere. So that is the reason that when we talk about an MBA, we'll never talk about money, we'll not talk about career progression, and we'll talk about climbing the corporate ladder faster and all. No, all that is not needed. You talk about stuff that is relevant to you specifically. That's why your answer would be different from somebody else's answer, and you will be able to frame that. Refine it 4 or 5 times, think about it, and should be able to frame that. Absolutely not a problem. Nisha, you do not need any internships or any kind of experience to get into HR. People get into good HR college. I mean, XLRI would be the top college. So you can get into XLRI as a fresher as well. So there is no need of an internship. And in fact, and this applies to everyone. When you talk about internships and all, if there is something, please pay attention. This is really important. If there is something that can add value, you can do that. But don't do it just because you want it there on a CV. No, no, it's not really needed. Do something that interests you, do something that adds value to you. That's when you'll be able to talk about it with conviction at the time of your interview. So don't put it there just because somebody told you you need to build your profile, so I'll go for this internship, this course, that course. They would see through it. यार सब समझ में आता है उसको. Rather spend time doing something that you actually like doing, that would add to your skill set, and then you can talk comfortably about that skill set, and that would see you through. You got the point. So I'm not discouraging you from doing stuff apart from your regular job or academics. Do it by all means, but think of doing something that adds genuine value. Don't, not for that piece of paper that it's going to give you after some time. As far as doing something specifically for HR is concerned, there is nothing like that. Do whatever you want to do. Just think about what interests me in HR, right? Is there something that I do in this regard? So for example, if you think HR is a people's person, right? So if I work on my communication skills, that'll be good. So do you need a course for that? No. Do you? No. Work on your communication skills. That's going to help you in the interviews and this personality assessment stage as well. So start thinking like that. Anshuman. No, no, I have not skipped anybody's questions. It's just like there are too many of them. Anshuman, I cannot seem to find your question. Sorry. Okay, okay, got it, got it. No, no, but why are you worried about work experience? This should be fine. When where is the problem with that? Look, when you talk about an MBA, it is different for different people. People go there as a fresher. In fact, in India, the average age of people getting into a B school would be lower than the word average or the Western words average. So this is fine. You might go there with 1 year of experience. You might go there with 3 years of experience. This is fine. Don't worry about that. What exactly do you think they would ask you for which you are worried? If you can tell me that, then I can address it. Okay, okay. Don't worry, guys. I'll address everything. I'm just reading and trying to diversify the kind of questions that I take up. But anybody who's here, I'm going to address everything. Abhijit 667 in academics, देखो ये जो चीज है ना, this would apply mostly to IIMs. If you ask me, top B schools think about academics and all. The lower rung, tier 2, tier 3, they also look at academics, but not in the same way as the top B schools. So don't worry too much about it. For you, it would be, unless your target is I am Ahmedabad or I am Bangalore, for you, the most important thing would be getting a not a decent CAT score, but a very, very good CAT score. And then you would get calls from everywhere. Okay, Vibhor has asked a very simple, straightforward question. Sir, should I join Infosys or prepare full time with gap year? Vibhor, if you've got a job, I think you should join it. I'll tell you the reason for it. Fine. India is a very competitive country. You know that. Fine. So, God forbid, अगले बार आपका उतना अच्छा परसेंटाइल नहीं आया. Might happen. You end up with a middling. What would happen then? Would you take a drop year again? So I have seen people struggle with things like that. So if you are somebody who hasn't got a job or have got a job not happy with, it's okay, drop a year. But if you've got a job, you think you can join and it's a decent place, go ahead, join it. Also, the reason I'm saying this is because CAT preparation does not really need 12 hours a day. With some structure, you can do with like 3-4 hours on weekdays and then the weekends. However, it does not mean that people who take a drop year start following this advice. So for them, for somebody who has taken a drop, आपने तो ज़्यादा बड़ा risk लिया है ना. So think about 10 hours daily. But if somebody's got a job and is happy with it, with the salary and the place and whatever, you should take up that job and prepare along with it. What it also does is it gives you that cushion. What kind of cushion am I talking about? Let's say you don't make it to the to your dream B school next year. It's different for different people. You can try for 27, you can try for 28, 2 साल 3 साल बाद चले जाओ. You'll not have that kind of question if you take a drop. The pressure would be immense and it starts happening. Another reason I'll tell you, when you sit at home and only prepare, you get bored. A lot of people would vouch for that. Sir, there is no college, there is no job, I don't get to talk to anybody, I'm just sitting here preparing for it, and it's actually a little problematic. So I would advise you to join that and prepare alongside. It would be a tough 1 year for you, but it'll be worth the effort. Hashu says 10th में 80%, 12th में 64 and second year overall 8.22. I am Ahmedabad में हो सकता है. हो तो सकता है. At times they give you calls for strange reasons, but it's going to be difficult. They actually put a lot of stress on academics. Get 100 percentile in one of the sections, you'll probably get call from I am Bangalore. So they give you calls for all these reasons as well, right? But yes, I am Ahmedabad and Bangalore, these two specifically, actually put a lot of emphasis on academics and everything. These are decent colleges. IMT, Ghaziabad and MMS, both are decent colleges. And with your profile, 18 months of work, it's 1 year gap. DIS, you should, I would again say the same thing. If you've got these two calls hain aapke paas inki, take them first and then decide whether you want to go ahead with it. A criteria for somebody like Dia said, whether should I think about IMT Ghaziabad and NMIMS would be, पहला मेरा advice होगा that convert these calls first. When you've got final admits, then ask me this question. I've got 18 months of work experience. This is my profile. These are my scores, and I've got these two calls. Should I go ahead or not? Fine. This is one. Two, whenever you are doing this for your self-evaluation, always consider this one criteria. Did I do my best at CAT this time? Ask yourself this question. So there'll be people who would say, no, I did not really prepare. Now, if you think you can motivate yourself enough to prepare harder next time, go ahead. Leave those B schools, try to get into a better B school next year. Better than NMIMS, better than IMT Ghaziabad, right? If you think you did your best, तो क्या करेंगे? जा सकते हो फिर आपको, ठीक है? Another case, you did your best, still you had a bad day. It happened with so many people this time. LRDI खराब हो गया. So if it was the case of a bad day, then there's every chance that next time you don't ruin it, and you might get calls from all those B schools that you keep thinking about. Give yourself a chance. So what I'm trying to say is, if you did not prepare well, one, if you prepared well but you had a bad day, right, and so you don't have those top calls, then you can prepare. But if you think everything went according to the plan, I got calls that are in line with how I was prepared, then I would say that if then NMIMS and IMT Ghaziabad fall in that league, go ahead, take admission. Convert them first, obviously, then take admission. Okay, this is a little different. It's like, I've done BTech and currently pursuing LLB, now wanting to MBA. Please guide this profile well enough to get a top MBA college. As I know, doing BTech then LLB then aiming for an MBA is rare. So you're saying BTech then LLB then an MBA. It's rare, but they would be very willing to listen to you. Trust me. सोच के देखो. Everybody comes here says, I'm an engineer. Now this is one guy who's not even a humanities graduate, or who's not from pure sciences, which are relatively rare. He says that he did BTech and then an LLB and now wants to get into MBA. They would want to listen to your story. So work on the story and forget this, that you will not be selected because of this reason. You will not be selected because you will not, if you will not be selected because of the reason, that would be because you would not be able to explain why you did what you did. You get the point? So they don't have a problem with unconventional streams that you take, or unconventional paths or career switches. They don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with gap years. They don't have a problem with back years. ये आपको सबको लगता है ना कि सबसे तो हो ही नहीं सकता, नहीं. They have a problem when clarity of thought is missing. मैं umbrella term बताया आपको ये. So if you are clear on what you are trying to do, what you're going to achieve through an MBA, how is it going to help you, where do you think you'll be working, right? All those things, then it's fine. Don't worry. Go ahead, prepare hard. I'm looking at everything. Don't worry. I'm looking at everything. बिल्कुल हर्ष, बिल्कुल नेशनल सर्टिफिकेट है, डिबेट का कोई एकदम फायदा होगा. एंड यू नो व्हाट, people worry about certificates. You've got a certificate, people worry about certificates. I did this but I don't have a certificate, so is it counted? Yes, you talk about it, it'll be counted. They're veterans, they've seen so much of this word. झूठ बोलते हुए लोगों को देखा है तो पकड़ लेते हैं यार वो. Don't say that. तो when you talk about things, when you think about your co-curriculars, extracurriculars, think about what value it added. Does that make sense? So don't say, I play cricket. Everybody plays cricket in India. What sense does it make? They would not ask you to demonstrate your skill by giving you a bat and saying, chalo chakka maar ke dikhao. It's not going to happen. Do you have played competitive cricket at any level? No. I was just the captain of my colony cricket team. Okay, accepted. So it's fine. Chalo theek hai, acha hai. We trust you. You must have done that. But you missed out on a chance where you could have scored some points by talking about something else. And maybe a game that not many people play. So you talk about something that almost everyone does, and in that too you have not reached a level where you can talk about it. So if you say that as a hobby I pursue cricket, I still play, and this is what cricket has taught me, you talk about team spirit, you talk about never giving up and all those things, then that's fine, that's great. But think what you can do with it. And certificates are not always needed. If you've got one, wonderful. Nahi bhi hai, tab bhi, if you can talk about it, it's fine. Preeti says 81 percentile OBC, which IIT should I fill? I have good profile. Preeti, मुश्किल है कहना, but top से तो देखो नहीं आएगा. I mean, I don't think you're going to get it from the top IITs. Just look at last year's data, and if you're okay with going below Bombay, Delhi, then apply to all of them. No. How to get over the regret of not working on profile earlier, and now that things look so bleak, no motivation to even prepare for CAT? Which profile are you talking about? I mean, what exactly are you talking about? Look, for me, it is simple. आप सभी पे apply होता है. If you are planning to do an MBA, prepare hard for CAT 26. 10 months left, anybody can do it with motivation. Average aptitude भी है ना. If you're motivated 10 months, you can do it. If your question is, would I be able to sail through the interview, or would I be okay in the interview with all my misadventures? I've got a back year, I've got just 55%, I've done this, I've left my job, all these kind of things. Look, these things matter. So there'll be B schools, ekdam top tier mein, if I have to give you an example, I will say Ahmedabad and Bangalore, which would not give you a call only. They're done. But there are many other B schools who would call you. And then there you'll have to explain what you did. You get the point? They're not going to reject you for these things. They would say, we have called you, you won't do an MBA from this B school. Tell me, why have you done this? What went wrong? You completed your engineering 5 years. What happened? If they had to reject you for this, they would not have called you. Now you tell them what you did. अब आप बोलोगे सर ये मैं कैसे बोलूंगा? अरे भाई, even they know that you have completed your engineering 5 years. So what is their idea behind asking this question? See if you have fixed yourself. Minute ways, if you've made amends already, you got the point. And this is what they want to check. So is there any other way to talk about it? So they ask this question, and that is the reason you'd feel like they'll reject me. No, they're giving you a chance to explain yourself. Explain that. Whatever happened. And don't think of excuses. वैसे वाले, सर मैं 1 साल बीमार था. अगर थे तो बोलो, I have no problem. But अगर नहीं थे तो बोलो, it was poor prioritization. I was so much into doing this that I neglected my academics. I realized it pretty late. The damage was done, but I made amends, and then build a story around that. A story does not need to be false. It's just your thing. Put in a manner in which it does not sound bad. It sounds palatable. It sounds good. It looks like a redemption story if something like this has happened with someone. And so don't think like मेरा तो कोई चांस ही नहीं है. So when you talk about working on a profile, it's never too late. Get a 99.9 in CAT and then send it to me, and I'll tell you कहाँ से call आएंगी आपकी. So saying this because you have not worked on a profile, and for this reason you will not prepare for CAT, you're not left with enough motivation to prepare for CAT, will not do the job for you. Think about what you will do otherwise. अगर कोई और plan है, go ahead. But if there is no plan in sight, you have made mistakes in your life, this is time to make amends. Do it. Get on with it. मैट का एग्जाम दें या ना दे सकते हैं. देयर आर, व्हेन आई वुड से, देखो, इट्स नॉट अ यस नो काइंड ऑफ एन आंसर. इट डिपेंड्स इन द सेंस दैट आपके पास क्या चॉइसेस हैं. अभी देना चाहते हो दे सकते हो, बट all the top B schools, all the tier 2, tier 3 B schools have other affiliates, right? So MAT is not really the thing that I suggest to anyone who's starting or who's like just given it 1 year and all. If you're doing an MBA, do it from a good B school. Now, the definition of good and bad would be different for different people. But think beyond MAT and all these smaller exams. Think of CAT, ZAT, SNAP, and MAT exams like that. Yeah, Rohit, I'll check everything. Yes, Rohit, it can happen. Dekho, I told you, A and B, very difficult. But all others, yes, possible. If you actually get a percentile like that. Okay, someone is asking about Rodha's English batch for 2026. Yes, there is going to be an English batch, and will be announced pretty soon in the next 10-15 days. So the next batch that Rodha is planning is actually an English batch. Okay, so Samay says attempted CAT 25, graduation 25 without work experience till now. What should be my approach? The question is not very clear. Are you asking about whether I should go for CAT 26 or not? Yes, I mean, if it didn't work for you, CAT 25 should go for CAT 26. If the question is what should be my approach towards GDN interviews, I've already answered this. And if you're talking about CAT 26, still 10 months left. Start working on it from now if you did not do well in CAT 25. Okay. Guys, I'm looking at everything here. It's difficult. They do not say that. So they would never say, will not call you. But I'm giving you whatever I'm telling you. Had there been objective criteria for B schools, it would have been very simple to say, this will work, this will not work. The problem is that they do not give you criteria like that. And so it's still opaque to an extent. So it's difficult to deduce from that whether this is going to give a call or not. But what I'm saying is that A and B generally have a tendency wherein anything which is a little unconventional, any gap years, any low academics and everything, and then the chances actually diminish a little. That's the reason I'm saying that. But it's not written anywhere. You might get a call. So if somebody says I have to get into Ahmedabad, and I've known people like that, very good student, some problem with the profile, I'll go into only Ahmedabad, right? Very, very good CAT person, like 99.9 plus, no call. I mean, now who would explain that? So these are things that happen with A and B, and that's the reason I'm saying you cannot be sure about that. Yes, good IM means what? Again, ABC would be very difficult with 856 unless you've got a 100 percentile kind of a score. But below that, yes, depends on a CAT percentile, you might get a call. No problem with that. No, they've 3.5 years experience in IT and lost a job because of layoffs. Will this impact in interview calls? No. Explain what happened. Na? I told you about it. They will not reject you for what has happened to you or what you have done if they have called you for the interview. Think like now they are going to reject me for my inability to explain what happened. You get the point? ये bottom line है सब चीज का. तो जो भी लोग मेरे से पूछ रहे हैं, would I be rejected for this? Would I be rejected for this? Would I be rejected for this? No. If they had to reject you for that particular reason, they would not have given you a call. If they have called you, then you have a chance. Now it depends on your percentile scores. If it's high enough, a better chance. नीचे है तो कम chance. But if you have come to that stage, then there is a genuine chance. Now it depends on what? Whatever is that adventure in your profile. Whatever, a gap year, poor percentage, poor accounts, whatever. It's about how do you explain that. And what is the way of explanation? Is it lying? No. झूठ बोलना कोई उसका solution नहीं है. You would always talk about learning from it. ठीक है, मैं एक broad आपको बता रहा हूँ. Learning from it means I did poor prioritization. I got poor ACADS in second year of my college. For example, I was involved into blah blah blah. I made amends. You can see an increase in my percentage here. They just want to hear your side of the story. So be honest, but honest का मतलब ये नहीं होता raw honesty. आप समझते हो, एक होती है raw honesty. Raw honesty can backfire. सर पढ़ाई नहीं करी second year में, so I failed. What does that mean? What does that mean? Structured honesty would be, I made a mistake. Own it. हो गया. I was into this, but then I realized it was too late. Then I did this. Then I did this. Now you can see this. आपने effort डाला उनको समझाने में, सच बोलते हुए. And this is what they would like. They want people who have got a growth orientation, who think about what they're going to do in life. Everyone makes mistakes. So no mistake is so grave for which they would reject you. Get the point? Anant, let me look at everything. Yes, Anant, बिल्कुल एकदम. Anant says in insurance underwriter with 6 lakhs, 6 LPA, can pursuing MBA really that beneficial to somebody who's in a technical field? It depends on you. Fine. I would say, since I'm assuming that you have not taken CAT 25, since you're asking me this question at this stage, think about what an MBA is going to add to you. Fine. Do your research. So don't just think since it's 6 LPA and I want to make it 26 LPA, I'm going to do an MBA. ठीक है, starting के लिए even this approach is not bad. Everybody wants to grow in life, right? But then think about what I'm going to do. If I've got some experience as an underwriter, in what industry would probably I be absorbed, or what would be a good fit for me post my MBA? What would I learn in my MBA? So do this research, think about, start visualizing about where would I get a job, kahan mein kaam kar raha hoonga, and then you yourself would be in a position where you can talk about this conviction. If somebody asks you, क्यों अनंत, why do you want to do an MBA, क्यों जा रहे हो यार, ठीक ठाक तो जॉब है, you should be able to answer this yourself. And the answer should not be like, I need more money. No, मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ, this is where I want to work, this is what I want to learn. The answer that's expected of you in the interview, you'll be able to do that. But what will take at this stage would be, because every profile is different, research, work on it. And research would be thorough research. क्या मतलब होता है उसका? You go into B schools, you go to their websites, you get a list of companies, you find such details over there which nobody goes through. कौन आता है, कितना आता है, how many students they put. You'll find companies of interest. Do further research, go to Reddit, think about research about what kind of profile does this company offer at the B schools, at these kind of B schools, and you'll find replies over there. So since you're a different individual, सब लोग अलग अलग होते हैं, think about what makes sense to you, to your profile, and then build on that. That's the way. Anant, does that make sense? Anshuman, I don't see a problem. Anshuman says 66% in MBBS, 99 in class 10, 12. You're okay with top 20 B schools. Get a good CAT percentile, you'll be fine. Don't worry about that. Not at all. They don't put any objective criteria like that. So, for example, what I'm trying to tell you is, they would not say, will not call people who have got below 70% in their graduation. They don't do that. Maybe some B schools do. Not everyone in top 20 would do that. So don't worry about that. Try and maximize your CAT score, which is important. Preeti, if you are okay with these, fill multiple forms. You can never be sure about B school interviews. As already said, I understand there's a cost element involved with that, but you want to maximize your chances of getting in, isn't it? So if you want to, if you're okay with this, let's say you're saying, I'm okay with these 4 IITs, and you think that there is a chance, fill all the forms. The reason is that you don't know what might go wrong on the day of the interview. So don't think about, I understand there's some money that's involved into it. When you go to the B school finally, you'll be spending a lot, right? Spend some part of it to maximize your chances of getting into a B school. I'll put it like that. You're going to spend a काफी ठीक ठाक सा पैसा when you go to a B school. Just spend some part of it on trying to get into a better B school. Okay. Okay, sir, I prepared for CAT for last 2 years with Rodha in 24. I scored 92 and then 96. So you got 90, okay, 92 in 24, CAT 24, 96 in CAT 25. इस बार तो 100 हो जाएगा ये ऐसे. Okay, you did not receive any major calls from a good B school. What should I do? Try again. I mean, you got a 92, then you got a 96. If you're not happy with 96, and for many people 96 would be the score, they would get into their B school, right? So it means that you're looking for a top college. If you're looking for a top B school, you already got a 96, you're prepared. Try again once. Who knows? I mean, I've seen people trying for 3 years, 4 years, but they're working, right? It's not like घर में बैठ के तैयारी करते 5 साल तक. No, started trying right after engineering, then started working in an IT company. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Finally, one day they go and do IIM Calcutta. It happens like that. So MBA should be like, it's there in my mind, I'll try my best for it. Should not be, generally not be like, unless you're somebody who's dropped a year, अब आपको पता नहीं क्या करना है. So if you're working, you can keep trying 2 साल 3 साल, because aptitude tests are such, you might be very good, so you might be better than me when it comes to aptitude. to your preparation. But on the day of the exam, I might end up with a better percentile. It's always possible. So you don't know. So give yourself a fair chance, a fair shot at the top B schools. Try again. Fort Delhi is a decent B school. So when you ask how is it, uh, it's not a question that can be answered in a yes or a no. It's a middle level college, a decent one, not bad. For VARC, for DILR, for Quant, I would advise sticking to Rodha strictly. What else do you expect me to say, random stranger? We try our best in all the subjects. So, yes, of course. If you want to see how we teach, there's a lot of free content available from all the teachers on our YouTube channel and our portal as well. So do try. If you think it makes sense for you, then stick to Rodha, obviously. And if you're enrolled in Rodha, then you do not need to go anywhere because you would struggle to complete the content. We actually do a lot of stuff with you. That fire is important. When you talk about this, now you got a 92, then you got a 96. If you want to increase it further, let me tell you something. You're doing okay even without that fire. 96 in CAT, it means what? Uh, you are rank 1 in 25 candidates. That's the meaning. 96% people are below you. You're not doing too badly. Just one last effort, maybe, who knows, might do the job for you. Because this is going to be a life-changing event. You might not have that fire. Not everyone can produce that fire. But if you still have got some motivation left, do try. I'll tell you the reason also that let's say you don't do an MBA at all. You would still be working somewhere. इतनी लंबी जिंदगी है, खाली तो नहीं रहोगे ना. You'll do something. So when you do something, even in that job, you would say the same thing. I don't have that fire, but you still keep working, isn't it? So it's okay to not have that fire. Who knows when and what and who ignites that fire? It can happen, right? So just keep going with it, and try and think about no the outcomes. You might be able to light that fire. I know if you feel like absolutely done with it, खत्म हो गया तो छोड़ दो यार. ऐसे मत करना कि जबरदस्ती you are dragging it, because it needs some of it. बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं भी तो भी it'll need some motivation to keep going again for 10 months. Okay, Sabha says pursuing MSc chemistry from Lucknow University and took both CAT and ZAT but cannot cross for 50 percentile. I am so poor in English. Can I prepare for? Yes, of course, Sabha. You can of course prepare for CAT 26, but it's not about a question of can. It's about what do you intend to do differently this time, isn't it? So there are people who do badly in CAT and then take it again and they improve, and then they take it again, they improve further. So this is one category of people. Then there are people who would take CAT, would not do well, take CAT again, would not do well again, will take CAT again one more time, and again the same result. So I would not want you to be in that latter category. ये बाद वाली category में आप नहीं होनी चाहिए, पहले वाले में होनी चाहिए. Which is the first one? The first one would be who, even if the person does badly, looks at what went wrong. And it's a rule for life, not just for CAT or ZAT. What went wrong? क्या गलत हुआ? Can I fix that? Ask yourself this question. And if it can be fixed, fix that. And at least you would not want to carry that regret. I tried for an MBA, but I could not score. I mean, at least be sure about your capability once. ये अगर आपको ये लगता है that I cannot crack it, be sure about it. So ask yourself these questions. Did I work hard enough? मैंने किया ठीक से सब कुछ? Did I have all the resources to prepare hard? What went wrong? So saying I could not do well, just incomplete story. Did you give your best? Was the exam day okay with you? ठीक था उस दिन, मतलब ऐसा तो नहीं खराब हो जाता है, because there are people who do really well in their preparation. Exam went bad. It's an aptitude test. It can happen. So decide accordingly. Okay. Nisha, if you talk about HR, uh, if you talk about auxiliary, so 96, 97 would do the job for you. 98 would be sure. And if you get a better percentile in that, then you increase the chances of converting it also. Here, if you talk about HR, so for example, if you talk about MDA, HR and all, a similar percentile would do the job for you. But I would advise you not to think like that. I'll tell you the reason for it. So let's say, for example, for a particular XYZ college, the cutoff for HR is, let's say, 98 percentile. Let's think it's 98 percentile. And you get a 98 percentile, you'll get a call. But then converting the call is the real thing. Just getting a call would not do the job for you, right? So, what would help you in converting that call? Think about that. A better CAT score or a better ZAT score. So, when you are thinking of HR or doing HR, you should never ask anybody this question: how much should I get? I would say get 100. Then you would say it's unrealistic. So, I would say then get closer to 100. Whatever you can get, जितना पास जा सकते हो जाओ. But why are you asking me the cutoff? Or for that matter, anybody the cutoff? आप मार्जिन पे क्लियर करना चाहते हो क्या? नहीं. सोचो कन्वर्जन में कितना फाइट है. If you don't want to do that, think about how you can maximize the score, nothing else. If you maximize the score, then all these cutoffs would automatically be cleared, isn't it? So start thinking like that. No, Amit, no, no. Gap years would hurt. Gap years would hurt in the sense that there's an opportunity cost involved everywhere, right? So yes, whatever is lost. But if you've got something now, अगर आपको job मिली है जो कि okay है, which is decent, and you want to prepare along with it, then it's fine, go with it. If your question is uh, because of gap years, do I after all those gap years, do I stand a chance of making it to a good B school? Yes. Maximize the CAT score. I don't know a B school that says no, gap years is strict. No, we won't accept you. बताओ कौन सा है? कोई भी नहीं. Some of them would not give you a call. Obviously, that's okay, that's fine. But trust me, many of them can change their stance once you get a better score. लेकर तो आओ वो score एक बार. So don't start in this mode where you're a little tentative, a little uncertain, just because you think we've got gap years. मेरा होगा तो है नहीं. I don't think I stand a fair chance because of this gap. No. Tell yourself first, yes, this is a small hiccup. This is a small, I would say a blot. छोटा सा एक blot मान लो, चलो, if I can call it that. It's a small blot on my CV. Now ask yourself, is there any precedence of that कि नहीं देंगे कॉल ये टॉप बी स्कूल्स मुझे? नहीं, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है. So what is it then? It's just about performing well in CAT and ZAT, for that matter, other exams, right? Do that. Where is the problem? When it comes to interview, you'll be expected to explain that, which you can do, which people do every year. So that is it about. When had it been because of gap years, I'm not going to get a call, then I would have said, no, Amit, look for something else. This is not for you. But that's not the case. So Amit says, I've got calls from GLIM, GIM, 4, IMI. So there is a tier of colleges that falls between this and IIM Ahmedabad. You can get calls from that range of P schools. That is fine. You'll get it. Don't worry about that. Okay, so a few people are asking about the roadmap for CAT 26. I mean, it'll be a slightly extended explanation of that. So I'll make another video. I'll either do it live again for this, where I'll talk about how to prepare for CAT 26 in totality, all the sections, everything. Because including it into this session would consume a lot of time. Vivek, CAT is something for which, if you've got time, start as early as possible. Fine. So it's an aptitude test. So that way, even if you're not enrolled somewhere, so think about that. You can still start working on your reading skills. Start reading a bit. Start working on your vocabulary. Start working on your calculation speed. Start working on solving a few puzzles. Things like that. These are basic things. अगर आप देखोगे इसमें Do you need any specific thing for that? If I'd say reading, vocab, puzzles, calculations. So all these are things which anybody can start working on. And so even if you think that it's like too early to enroll somewhere, do for proper coaching or test prep at this stage, start doing these things. If you're already in second year or in final year and then you're planning, then the sooner the better. Time खराब करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. Harid, no, this is not a problem. If you're thinking about, like, you're apprehensive about it, how you going to get a call, or how you're going to, convert this? Age would not be much of a problem. No, no, no. I mean, there is nothing like that. I've seen people getting into IIMs in their 30s, even late 30s. That is okay. As long as you can justify why you want to go into it, what do you want from it, it's fine. With 90 something, OBC, IFTD, or K, maybe, cannot be sure. Okay, so Gautam says, how can I get into IIM Ahmedabad with 1034, 1233, graduation, 6.4, work experience 12 months, category SC? Look, percentage might be the problem for you. So that is something that you have to keep in mind, because as I've been repeating in this session, Ahmedabad and Bangalore are a little different. At times, you will not even understand why you did not get a call. So you get a very, very good CAT percentile and there is a chance. So there is nothing here which tells me you'll never get a call. No, not like that. But if you ask me, like, you say something like, sir, can you guarantee I'll get a call? No, I will not. Difficult to comment. Okay, so I do not have a math background in my profile. Because of this, I struggle a lot with quant based sets, which are pretty much 90% of the sets. I would agree. Okay. What should I do? It's my third attempt now. Don't think like that. Don't think like that. I mean, I'll tell you something which you'll find a little hard to believe. At times, people with maths background, and you'll find so many of them, struggle with CAT, Quant, and LRDI. It's connected, but you can never be sure about it. And yes, if you have got a background in math, it gets a little easier. But I can show you so many people who do not have a background of math doing very well in LRDI. It's logic. Fine. There is a, I mean, even if you talk about a subject like quantitative aptitude, why is it called quantitative aptitude and not math? Because it's not math. Math does help, fine, but it is quantitative aptitude, which is called quant in short. It is LRDI, logical reasoning and data interpretation. So math does help in QA, math does help in DI, LRDI. It helps everywhere, but that's not the sole criterion on which you would be judged, or on which your performance would depend. No, had it been like that, they would have made all such people ineligible for CAT. Think like that. Think about that. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप नहीं कर सकते उसके बिना. Having said that, you'll have to probably put in a little more effort. If you've done it previously, you fell short, It's time to put in some extra effort. Yes, yes, Shantanu, you can think about I am ABC. C, definitely. A and B, I've been saying again and again, at times, I just don't understand why a person did not get a call. So they're a little different that way. But C, definitely. And obviously, it goes without saying that you need a very, very good CAT score. Yes, yes, possible. So Bharat says 10th 92, 12th 93, graduation 8 CGPA, BBA. No work ex is top IMs possible? Yes, possible. Get a very good CAT score. And but I'll give a generic answer here. So whoever is asking, how can I get a call from this B school? How can I get a? What are the only variables now? Think like that. Your academic background is pretty much fixed. Fine. Your percentile, your performance is fixed. Right? You cannot change that. Whatever you've done in life is all fixed. What is the only variable that's left? Just think about that. So if getting a call is a function of a few things, your stream, your gender, and now there is gender diversity as well, your performance, your marks, what is that one thing that is still left? That is your CAT percentile, isn't it? Work on that rather than worrying about other things. You can compensate for your average academic record by getting a great score in CAT. A simple one sentence answer for you. Anant, with a very, very good CAT percentile, maybe. Otherwise, 8, 9, 7, they reject even. No, I'll answer this question in a slightly different manner now because many people are asking the same question. With a 999, top colleges, everything very, very good. And 999 also is like 96, 97% in 10th, 12th, and everything great. And a great CAT percentile, and the call is missing. So you don't know about them. It's not objective. There is something else that's a little opaque. So nobody can comment on it. But yes, unless there is something that they're like absolutely averse to, you will get a call if you get a good CAT score. So CAT score अब ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत थोड़ा सा relevance है. It's still very, very important. So if you think you can work hard for it, so start working on your CAT score right from this point. 10 महीने अभी. Don't worry about things which are beyond your control. Can you now control your percentage of graduation? Can you stream gender? What can you change now? Nothing. So there is no use talking about this. Reason number two is that even if I tell you, let's say I tell you a number like that, so pandits नहीं बोलते हैं, so you get a 99.93 and you'll get a call. How do you ensure a 99.93? It's not child's play, right? So rather than getting too deep into it, obviously some research is required. So that research should be restricted to this level. Do I stand a chance at these B schools, or is it like completely ruled out on the basis of my profile? If it's not completely ruled out, that still exists, work hard, really hard, and try and maximize your score. That is your best chance of getting a call. Shantanu, I answered your question. Karthik, that's a good profile. Yeah, 998, 2 years of work experience, general male. Can I get anywhere good? Yeah. I mean, obviously, no. I don't find anything bad in that profile. I cannot comment on Ahmedabad and Bangalore, but yes, pretty much everywhere else. And who knows? I'm saying I don't know about these two because they can be really unpredictable. But get a great CAT score, everything is open for you. Look, if you compare IFT Kakinada or with something like baby IIMs, new IIMs, there was a point when even the newer IIMs like Shillong, for example, was new. Now it's like okay. So that way, they're baby IIMs, they're new IIMs, but they still have that brand name attached. So if you're comparing it to say the main campus, so if you would say it's a baby IIM versus IFT Delhi, I would say no, go to IFT Delhi. But if it is some other B school, then I would say IIM ka tags should be given some importance that way. And it makes a difference because there'll be a point jahan par, I know there'll be so many IIMs, 15, 20, 25 IIMs then, but the tag would still be there, and it helps. It would still be an IIM. So if you do not get a B school of a choice, let's say it happens like that, and you have to make compromises, then at least go with the brand name of IIMs. So that is my opinion on this. I rate FMS Delhi very highly, and one thing that makes it very lucrative for a lot of students is the return on investment. So if you are in, like say, I am Indore or I am Kozhikode, you can prefer an FMS Delhi. Now it's a personal opinion completely, because these ranks are not like very concrete that way. All these rankings in one magazine you'll find some ranking, some other website you'll find some other rankings. But yes, I would say A, B, C, you cannot compromise and go to ABC. L, FMS, you call. I and K with FMS, I would say probably FMS. You look at multiple things and then decide. But yes, it's definitely comparable to top IIMs, not to ABC, but after that, it's comparable. A great CAT score. Karthik, it's a tough question. If you tell me about your aspiration of B school, I'll tell you what's a great CAT score. Okay, 3.5 years of work ex in L&T construction as planning engineer. What type of companies would naturally pick me, sir? Depends on the B school. I mean, if you're saying, or if you're asking me broadly, do you have any scope of getting to a B school and getting a decent job? Yes, definitely yes. What kind of companies? It depends on the IM, it depends on the B school. So go through the list of recruiters and find a fitment for yourself. And do not think just about your line of work. At times they pick you from anywhere and you will land anywhere. Connection bhi zaruri nahi hota hai. Because whatever you learn, it's not that you would stay in that domain only. So that's a mistake. People think like that. I would stay in this domain. No, not necessarily, because you learned a lot of other stuff as well. Had this been the reason, सोच के देखो ना, why do so many engineers get into an MBA? क्या sense बनता है? So it's not the technical stuff that the engineering has taught you. A lot of other things are also involved in those 4 years. So that way, your experience would be valuable, even if the sector is not a great fit that way. So don't worry too much about it. Okay, so you're a get a 99.9 then. I mean, if you're a genius male, then probably you would want to get into the top ones. So get a the higher the better for you. I'll put it this way. So if you're aiming for a top college, nothing below 99, and then it depends on profile, on your exact academic record and everything. Babura, I am Jammu ठीक है. अब should I take it or let it go? Would be like कैसे answer करूँ इस question को? What are your choices? Where do you want to get into? What were your mock scores? What was your CAT score? Was it in line? Was it a little lower? Did you have a good day then? So there are hundreds of variables over there. So when you say, is it good? Is it bad? For somebody, it can be like very, very good. For somebody else, it might be a very, very poor B school. So it depends on a lot of other things. So ask yourself broadly, if you have to ask something, ask yourself, is there a chance of getting into a better B school or a much better B school next year? If the answer is an emphatic yes, yes, possible, छोड़ दो फिर, appear for cat 26. If the answer is I don't know, I'm not sure, I tried my best, cat was okay, but still I could get only this, then think about it seriously, take admission. BSc agriculture student 998 with no work experience. So should need to check out for some internship and all, and how to approach for cracking some CAT score. I didn't. You mixed up two things. Do you need to do some internship because of your agriculture experience? No. I mean, I don't think so. That's needed. Work on building some real skills. Right. That would matter more than getting a piece of paper. And how to approach for cracking a good CAT score by working for CAT. I mean, yeah. Baburao, if there is a possibility that you can do it better next time, if there's a possibility that you can actually improve on your score and the quality of your calls, CAT 26. But this is the last time that you're going to any formal college, this B school. You're not going to study further. Already done your graduation. Now this is your post graduation. Let this be the best degree that you have. The only reason why I don't repeat it again and again is because there are many people who are stuck in this endless loop. दो बार कैट दिया, still not, did not work for them. So yes, you can think of life beyond an MBA, right? But if you want to do an MBA, do it from a good B school. You will never be able to change that. You will never do an MBA again. बहुत ही कम लोग दोबारा MBA करते देखे मैंने, लेकिन very few people. So let this be good. 99 percentile baby IIMs, yes, definite chance of converting, even if you don't do that well in GDPI, and you tend to fumble and all. But I would say don't think like I'll fumble or anything. If you can get a 99 percentile, think of even better options. When you fumble in GDPI, but that's your current status, work for it. Yeah, if GD is a problem for you, for example, work on your communication skills, work on your knowledge, work on, practice doing some mock drills for GDs. It's going to work for you. काम करो ना उस पे, मतलब why do you accept your fate like that? I will not do well in GDPI, so these B schools, what percentile? Oh, aim higher. If you're a general category candidate, Karthik, for minimum percentile needed for, देखो यार IIMs तो बहुत सारे हो गए ना, but get a 98 99 percentile at least. Yeah. Okay, should I go for tier 3 4 college or repeat one last time with job? 1.5 year gap and 1 year job. Gem 956. Okay, what was your CAT percentile, Abhishek? Without which I cannot get the context here. What did you get last time in CAT, and what calls, and where do you want to go? I can advise something. Abhishek, then you definitely need to give it another go, because improving from 63 percentile, definitely possible. I mean, uh, uh, it's better than going to a tier 3 tier 4 college. I mean, एक बार फिर से तैयारी करो, keep working alongside, मतलब अब छोड़ के मत करना, don't drop your ear again since you already got some gap. Prepare along with it. And you know what, if you drop a year, then it's a huge decision. Should I do, should I not do? You're working, right? You're working, you're planning to work. So when you're planning to work, taking CAT is an additional thing. What is the worst that can happen? Just think about that. What is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that next year also you would not be satisfied with the CAT score and say no MBA. It's fine. Did it take away anything from you? Nothing. But if you are planning to drop a year, then it becomes a bigger decision. It's got a huge opportunity cost involved. In that case, you need to be more careful. But if you're working and you're saying, should I try for CAT 26? Yes, of course, you should try for CAT 26. If MBA is there somewhere on your agenda, definitely try for CAT 26. No, no, Abhishek, age is never a problem. 26, 27, people get into B schools at that age. Yeah. You can go for specialized MBA of CAP IMs, and it depends on your calls. What calls do you have? What options do you have? But even if you've not got great options, it's still that tag attached. IM. It works. Okay, I'm in second year. Am I eligible for CAT 26? Because I'll be in final year in November, but my exams of final year will take place in August 27. I afraid not. Will be difficult for you because uh, the session would start in, if you take CAT 26, somewhere in June 27. Fine, and your final exams would take place in August 27. So if you are sure about this cycle of your graduation, it happens in some universities, then you have to plan for CAT 27. I answered your question about specialized MBA. Yes, yes, you should definitely think about that. If you've got comparable colleges, fine, then an IM tag is preferred. If you've got better options, then you do not have to go for specialized ones from CAP IMs. Okay, my salary is nearly 10 LPA and my experience is 2.5 years now. Based on my percentile, I'm getting only I am Jammu, Sirma, or both. I should go for this. Should I go for CAT 26? I would say go for CAT 26. I'm assuming that you have continued your job. If you have continued your job, that is the safest way of appearing for CAT again or again and again. I just hope that you do not have to appear again after CAT 26. But as I already mentioned, you do not lose anything. So the worst that can happen is that ऐसी कुछ कॉल फिर से आ जाएगा. I'm assuming that you're not going to deteriorate your scores after that because जो आपके पास calls हैं, आपके experience, आपकी salary पे should get into a better B school. Because you know what the thing is, I'm not saying these are bad, but you look at the context. So you're still at this stage earning decent. So from this, if you want to get into a B school, you would want to come out of it at maybe a 25 LPA or a 30 LPA, right? So not every college would be able to do justice with your current salary, and that is the reason I'm saying ki think about CAT 26. Anshika, if you don't have options, then you can go for these specialized MBAs, जैसे MBA healthcare वगैरह हो गया. Generally, my advice is that stick to the conventional ones. Again, it depends on the options. Because you know what? When you go for a specialized stream like this, healthcare, for example, then it's like restricting your domain a little. Thoda sa. So, preference should be a general MBA like that with no such specialization. Unless, of course, you are like very interested in something particular for some reason. That is fine. बट अगर वैसे आपको कुछ ऐसा नहीं है दैट आई नीड टू गो इनटू दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग देन आई वुड से प्रेफर अ जनरल एमबीए. बट उसमें एक चीज मैं ऐड करता हूँ, बहुत सारी जगह पर प्लेसमेंट कंबाइंड होते हैं, बहुत सारी जगह पे. फाइन, सो द सेम पीपल वुड बी सिटिंग फॉर ऑल द कंपनीज, so that way it can help a little. When will the next Rodha batch be announced? Very soon, maybe in the next 10-12 days. Yes, they've obviously it's possible. So 10th, 9 CGPA, 12th, 82%, then 8.54 graduation gap of 1 year after 12th, that is fine. Any chance of getting calls from top IMCs? You can. A and B are different. Apart from it, depends on the CAT percentile. And I'm not ruling them out. Right? 10th 95, 12th 92, engineering 79%, 3 years work experience. What personnel required for top baby IMs uh, with this kind of profile? 98, 99 would do the job for you. बट पता है इसको इस तरीके से मत देखो डोंट लुक एट इट लाइक दैट व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड थिंक अबाउट हाउ मच कैन आई गेट for two reasons. One, you might get into a better B school than that. And two, converting those calls with a higher score would be easier. So why would you want to restrict yourself just to that marginal score in which you can get a call? Fine. Work a little harder, try and get the best score possible. You'll get these top baby IMs, plus maybe who knows a little more than that, and that'll be wonderful. So think like that. 4 years experience would never be a trouble in IM placements. No, not at all. Why would it be a problem? It'll be an added advantage if you look at that. If you've got experience like that, that'll be valued. They've as such there are no pros and cons. And if you're somebody with a huge work experience, 5 6 years, then you can also think about an executive 1 year program. That is the only thing. A 2 year MBA is never out of fashion. That's always there. So pros and cons. Cons would be you spend 2 years. Pros is you get a proper 2 साल का सीखने का learn करने का phase, and that these are the flagship programs generally, these 2 year programs. Having said that, if somebody has got 5 6 7 years of experience, then you should also look at the executive 1 year. I'm not talking about those part-time programs. 1 year full-time MBA programs, like in ISB or like in IIM Ahmedabad PGPX, like that. You can also look at that. So there is nothing wrong about doing a 2 year MBA, but if you think you cannot study now at this stage for 2 years, you can look at 1 year programs as well. But from only from top B schools. Isha, it can happen. I know it can happen, and trust me, you're not the only one who experiences. Says that the scores have not increased, they've not improved. It's been 3 attempts and prepared honestly, worked hard, marks have been the same. It can happen. It can happen. When if the question is should I prepare, should I not prepare, I would say just one thing. No, look at what you did over the years. And I'm not saying you did not work hard or anything. Ours is, such a populous country that even many good students miss out. Not many, even lots and lots of good students miss out. It can happen. But ask yourself two, three things. One, did I actually put in honest hard work? You're saying yes, you did. Could I have done anything differently? Fine. कुछ अलग कर सकता था क्या? Even when you work hard, there are things that you'll not really sure about. I can do this, I can do that. Because if you don't change the ways in which you prepare, the result probably would not change. One of the reasons. Fine. And one very important question, and this is the one that should decide this for you. Am I left with enough motivation to push myself for 10 months? If the answer is no, then look for something else. If the answer is a yes, I think I can do it. It somehow did not work, and that's the reason it breaks my heart, right? But I think I belong to that. I think I can do that. Try for Cat 26. Who knows? Kismat badalti hai na, so it Might just be your year this time. Work from, okay, so the question is, I'm able to solve easy level, familiar level RCs, what to do to solve weird topics. Okay, weird topics. With reading, what tends to happen is that, I'll give you an example. Let's say you like cricket very much. So when you go to even papers like Hindu or the Indian Express, where the level of the language is a little up, you would be comfortable reading that, right? Why? Because that's from your area of interest, because you actually like reading it, because you understand the context of it. Right? What does it tell us? It tells us that our reading speed, our comprehension, our comfort levels depend upon familiarity. So if you think, and you've used that word weird, if you think those weird topics, weird RC passages trouble you, start reading that stuff outside practicing RC from today. So if philosophy troubles you, pick करो यार, कुछ पढ़ना start करो. We keep making lectures on word lists and, sorry, book lists and all. Pick something from there, from the recommendations of the teachers. If you think if it's something related to sciences, you cannot get it, then start reading that. Make yourself comfortable. How do you make yourself comfortable? By making yourself familiar first. So make yourself familiar. When you're familiar, next time it comes, you'll not call it weird. You'll probably say, this is not in my comfort zone, but I can manage this. तो वो लेवल उसका धीरे से थोड़ा सा मैनेजेबल हो जाएगा, एंड विच इज ऑल व्हाट यू वांट. तो वेरेवर यू नॉट कंफर्टेबल, एंड दिस अप्लाइज टू ऑल द थिंग्स, नॉट जस्ट आरसीज में तो काम करेगा ही करेगा. Wherever you're not comfortable, it can even be some topic in quant, spend more time with it. So whatever text troubles you because you cannot understand, you cannot comprehend it well, make yourself familiar. Read it for 10 days and ask yourself this question on the 11th day: do I still find this passage equally weird? Answer would be no. Try it for yourself. Okay, this makes sense. Work on it. And you know what? You asked me for advice. I advised you. Now the ball is in your court. काम करना है आपको. What do you have to do? आज से start करो. If you're serious about it, आज से start करो. Pick up something and check with yourself after 10 days. Did I really improve a little? Answer would be yes. And you'll feel good about it. Cat or no cat, RC or no RC. You'll feel good about learning something new. Get that zeal. Isha, this is not a good frame of mind. जो आप बोल रहे हो ना कि you do the same thing every year and then you're get a little scared thinking about क्या ही बदल जाएगा. I don't know, it's your call. But if at all you plan to prepare again, come out of this first, because this is not the best way to start. Trust me. And I'm not saying that it did not happen because of this, but it makes a difference. So for example, just think about it. When you started preparing for CAT 25 last year, after failing twice, I'll use that word. There's no harm in accepting something that has happened. Yes, I failed. So what? I'll make amends. When it happened twice and you started preparing for it again and you thought about all these things last year, was it the thing on the top of your mind, at the top of your mind, like it'll be difficult? It changes the whole story. It changes the whole game. When you start thinking like that and you start on a back foot, you should not do it like that. So what is the first thing I told you? Subject mein kya hoga, the strategy for quant, English and LRDI and everything would come later. Ask yourself this question first. Can I start once more? Have I got enough energy left, enough stamina left, enough motivation left to do it for one more year? And can I not tell me कि नहीं हो पाएगा मुझसे? Then only you should prepare. If you think that you would still keep getting those random thoughts, nahin, it'll be difficult. I've tried thrice. What can I change now? Trust me, it's going to be really difficult. So think about it yourself. You do not need anybody's suggestions for that. Think about it yourself. What would you change this time? If the answer is still a blank, no, not much, then look for something else. The word does not end with an MBA. Trust me. There are other things. But I would not want you to move to those other things because of a mistake, because you did not realize that you were doing certain things in a suboptimal manner. And that's why it was not working for you. So do that analysis first and then take whatever decision. I'm sure you're going to take a good decision. Look, I went from -1 in quants to 95% in cat quant in the second attempt. And there are stories like that. It's not you only. So many people have done that. So many people have done that. But एक चीज common थी. They knew that they can do that. And it is that belief that saw them through. Obviously, a lot of hard work, a lot of efforts. And but ये बहुत जरूरी था. इसके बिना it gets really tough. It gets really tough. When a voice at the back of head is telling you, no, it's going to be difficult. You cannot do it. तेरे से नहीं होगा. Then it gets doubly difficult. बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा. If you can get over that, think about it. Rodha का नया बैच, I told you, will announce it this month and it'll most probably start by the end of this month. You'll come to know about the details. We are in the process of finalizing it. There are many things that you can do as a repeater if you plan to join a batch in April. Multiple things that you can do already. If you're a repeater, then you probably would have got the notes and everything, revise them, do all the CAT questions. If you've not solved them, you can just do everything from CAT questions. You have some question bank from previous years, you can solve them. What I would not want to do, क्या करना है आप देखो, क्या नहीं करना है, I can tell you, don't sit idle. जंग लग जाएगा, rust हो जाएगा. So don't do that. So these 50 days should not waste waiting for the batch, since I'm going to join in April. Previous questions, revision, some previous question banks that you have, solve them, utilize this time. Form mirror, be in form. So it's not like you don't do anything for the next 2 months and then you're all rusty and then you have to gather yourself again, start not from scratch, but you have to restart. So you should not require a restart. Just keep doing it. It'll be smooth, it'll be seamless. RFOD would be English most probably. We'll give you the details in around 10 days time. So it would most probably be English. Would start most probably by the end of the month. I'm saying most probably because it's yet to be finalized. Absolutely, Pratham. Absolutely. Feb se start karenge to bilkul hi ho sakta. I mean, what more do you need? 10 months for CAT. Yeah, it's a CAT. It's not an IIT JEE. Not demeaning CAT. I'm saying कि syllabus उतना नहीं है. They'll require 3 years of preparation. Raj Singh, don't think about or don't plan too much about will it count, will it not count. You're saying your 25 attempt was not good because of your mistake. So I'm assuming that you're planning to take it again, take CAT again in 26. This is fine. This is good. Fine. Now the question is, what would you do alongside? If you want to look for a job and do it along with the job, it's good. You'll have to work harder. I understand, but it'll be good. The reason is that when you're working and taking CAT, utna pressure nahi hota. If you take a drop and then take CAT, it's like I have to get into some B school. It gets difficult that way. It starts playing on your mind. So if you are planning to do it along with the job, it's fine. It's good. Do it like that. It will count if there is any meaning of any counting. It doesn't work like that. I'll look at a profile and ask you, क्यों किया ऐसा, क्या किया ऐसा. This is the only thing. There is no objective criteria that will reject you or select you. No, it doesn't work like that. 2 महीने में भी करते हैं देखो लोग, लेकिन that's not ideal. So 6-8 महीने तो I mean you should give to CAT prep, irrespective of where you stand currently. 10 months is definitely enough. देव कहाँ से सुना है आपने यार? हो सकता है there might be some people who would say no, we need people with less than 2-3 years of experience, but many companies would not have any such criteria. There are some others who would say I would take people only with 2+ years of work experience, so it might be different. I would still say that you are thinking too much about it at this stage. Focus on getting a good CAT score, focus on getting into a good admit, and then go for it. अगर ऐसा कुछ होता बहुत ज़्यादा, I'm not saying कहीं नहीं हो सकता, हो ही सकता है ना, they have their whims, they have their priorities, then B school आपको admit ही नहीं करते. If they cannot place you, they would not take you. Because the seats are limited. It's a very simple equation. Let's say there are 100 vacancies somewhere. 1,000 people appear for it. Not all 1,000 can get selected, isn't it? Only the top 100 would be. And that's the reason why people get rejected. Isha, I just hope that you make amends, work on your mindset, and then it'll be better for you. Chalo guys, I'll close this session. I'm like, I thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with you, and I really hope that you make some good use of this advice. We'll keep doing these sessions again, but the important thing would be not the advice, but you working on the advice. So don't just forget about it. Note down your actionable items. No, which if it made sense, you would have something to act upon. So note them down so that you don't forget it by the time you're up tomorrow morning, and start acting on them. काम करो उन चीज़ों पे. So I saw a lot of people who were a little apprehensive about whether this is good enough, whether this is going to work or not work. All that is fine. All that is okay. Expected hai. But now when you got some of your answers, start working on it. If you again tomorrow come and sit in some AMA and asking the same questions, you get the point. It's not going to work, because this confusion would go on forever. So you've got some clarity on it, start acting, and trust me, some things start happening when you actually get started. कभी भी पूरी क्लैरिटी फर्स्ट स्टेज पे नहीं आती. सो यू टॉक अबाउट द बिगेस्ट or whoever you idolize and whoever you look up to has done really well in some field. You talk to them, and if they can tell you honestly, they'll tell you there's so much ambiguity when we started, not much clarity, but I worked hard, I had a vision, I worked towards it, and as I moved along, things started getting clearer. So it's the same in every field. So don't look for all the answers with which are 100% concrete. You get an idea, it seems to make sense to you, get started. Hello guys, I'll close this session now. I'll see you again soon. I wish you all the very best for your preparation. Please work really hard, put in your best effort, and do not leave anything to chance. Good luck. Bye bye.